What's up, Waymakers? It's me, Mommy Suna.
A chair is somewhere to sit.
We're gonna cover some dudes today. A lot of the criticism that the anti-MLM movement gets is centered around, oh, it's just a bunch of girls hating on other girls. So today, I'd like to prove them wrong by covering just dudes. But before we jump into that, I just want to do a small business shout out real quick. So one of you guys sent me a sweet little care package to my P.O. box. Also, speaking of care packages to my P.O. box, I know you've seen this chair already, but I just want to say thank you to, I believe her name was Jennifer. So I go to the post office and I have a little paper in my P.O. box and it's all like, hey, you gotta go pick up this package from the desk. And I was like, okay, here I go. I hand the guy the paper and he comes back and he's like, the box is very big. Did you order this? And I was like, oh, I don't order anything. People just send me stuff. But I had no idea what it was. Had to like wheel it out in one of those little dolly things. I get it home and it's this freaking chair. I didn't ask for this, okay? But the kindness and the thoughtfulness that went into this gift, Jennifer, thank you so much for sending this to me. It is so much more comfortable than my last chair. Now, the chair that I normally used to sit in, you guys probably don't care about this. You're like, just get to the men. The chair I normally was sitting in that was all like torn up, it's actually still here because that's my husband's chair. So I was sitting in that chair because the other chair I had, the one that was supposed to be mine, was so uncomfortable. There was like no lumbar support, nothing. This chair has it all, but my husband is looking to get a new chair. But now I don't have to keep stealing his because at least that one's like comfortable. It's just torn up by cats. Thank you, Jennifer. That's very kind. Now the small business shout out I wanted to give. Same day I went to the post office and I had a package from out in the UK. This is a small business by one of you guys who makes your own soaps and stuff. Helensburgh Soapy Suds. First of all, you guys, you know I love soap, dude. I have a thing for artisan soaps. I love them. This is right up my alley. So when I got this, I was very excited. So we got this pretty soap. Vegan-friendly, cruelty-free, sustainably sourced. And then there's this one, coconut with coconut milk. Very pretty. A lavender one. Super smells like lavender. That's nice. I like that. And then they also sent me another soap. It was like a pink waffle rose thing. I already started using it. I could have brought it up here, but it's really nice. Like, I used it to shave my legs, actually, because it was so moisturizing. They also have bath bombs. Here's a Nessie bath bomb that I'm really excited to use. Lavender scented, it says. Oh, it's so adorable. They sent me another bath bomb too. I already used it and I didn't take a video of it, but it was one of those bath bombs that dissolves like so nice. Like it doesn't just like kind of sit there and bubble a little bit. It's like it's like one of those bath bombs that looks so pretty when you put it in the water, and it just like, yeah, it was really cool. It was blue and it had like some silver stripe things on it. She also sent me a bunch of makeup brush cleaners. I used one. This is what's left of it. Just a little bit up there. One of these containers, it's just like a full container. It kind of looks like a lip balm or something, but it's not. I cleaned all of my brushes with them. Look at how pretty my brushes are. It had been way long overdue since I went through and cleaned all of them. And I've never tried anything like this before. Oh wait, this is a cuticle nail balm. I thought this was also a makeup brush cleaner. I'll use it right now. Mommy's got some dry hands, baby. So yeah, they have a lot of different stuff. But anyway, like I like the idea of this. I've never used anything like it because normally like all the other makeup brush cleaners I've ever used came in like a spray and it just didn't really make sense to me. This is so easy. Like you just take it and you just dip your brush in it, swirl it around, and then like rinse it off and it's clean. I thought it was really cool. Maybe y'all have used things similar to this, but to me I was like, oh dude, that's super convenient and easy to use. I love all the stuff that Helensburgh Soapy Suds sent me. I don't have like an affiliate code. I'm not getting paid for any of this. This just showed up in my P.O. box unannounced and I love everything in it and I wanted to shout them out. So I'll put all their socials down below. So if you guys want to support them, they're based out of the UK. So I don't know what their shipping rates are internationally, but obviously they ship to the United States because hi, here we are. But you know, especially if you're in the UK, you can absolutely support the small business. We love supporting small businesses here. Real small businesses, not MLMs. So anyway, thank you to Helensburgh Soapy Suds for sending me this little care package. I love it so much. It was very kind of you to send. Thank you. Let's get on to the men. Before we do that, please leave a like on this video. And as a reminder, if you have the time to sit through this entire video or let it play all the way through or whatever, that helps my channel a lot because YouTube's algorithm bases everything off of watch time plus comments and likes and stuff, but mostly watch time. So if YouTube thinks that people are are watching this video to the end, they will be more likely to promote it. That goes for every creator that you like. It's very helpful to us as little tiny creator boys, so thank you for doing so if you are one of those people. Anyway, okay, so the story behind all this is my beautiful, wonderful, fantastic friend Erin Bees, we know her, we love her, sent me this guy his Facebook page and was like, you need to cover him. I'm like, okay. So here I am scrolling through his shit and oh my god, the content. This first guy, his name is Wes Bewley. Wes Bewley. It's gotta be that, right? It wouldn't be Wes Bewley. Oh my god, I forgot to put things in my ears. Don't worry guys, I'll take care of the cat buttholes. Hold on. So according to Erin, this guy is in Modere. Actually, both of the dudes we're gonna be covering today are in Modere. And they're just, you know, a couple of dude bosses, a couple of dude bros. He's a tool. Both of these guys we're covering today are tools. What I wanted to do, because I went through and scrolled through like a couple of their posts for both of these people, and I knew immediately that I just needed to make a full-on video about them. They're both in Modere, but they're just so ugh. So we're just gonna scroll through their shit. I actually had other plans for this video until I went to Wes's Facebook profile, because originally I was like, I'll just find one or two videos that are like cringy. No, they're all cringy. There's so much here. Let's watch or scroll or whatever. When I say he's a tool, like, I mean, just check out, he's got the Gucci wallet and the background music in this one is like Gucci gang, Gucci gang. So I think he hosts like masterminds and stuff. So this appears to be a clip from one of his masterminds from a few months ago.
That's the greatest gift that a leader could give you. The greatest gift that you could give your leaders is to be human, to let them see the vulnerability of you, because then they think I can do this too.
We're one sentence in and I'm like, oh my god. No, you know why it's such a gift to them? Because it proves to them that you are malleable, aka they can manipulate you. It's like when they always say, you have to be coachable. I have to be coachable? No, it means that like if you tell me to jump, I'm gonna say how high. Like you want someone that you can actively manipulate. That's why it's a gift to them, because they're like, if this person commits to all these things that I tell them to do, then I'm gonna make a lot of money off of them. That's what it is. That's what this comes down to.
If you're perfect, that's unachievable, right? So I never will forget, this is my first mentor in business. This is actually the guy that led me to Christ at the age of 18. His name's Danny, and we're fishing in Alaska. But I'd always kind of seen Danny at events, kind of like you might see Justin. Now see, I know Justin, we go fly fishing and stuff like that.
Justin is the other guy we're going to be looking at today, but anyway.
Some of you guys, maybe you just see Justin kind of at a distance, right? And that's kind of how it always been with Danny. And then he invited me fishing in Alaska. And it's one of those things where they drop you off in a float plane and you don't see nobody for 7 days. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a walkie-talkie, satellite phone, you got a guide, he's got a bear gun, and you don't see anybody for 7 days. Bear tracks everywhere, you're seeing grizzly bears everywhere. It's very, very comfortable environment.
That had to have been sarcasm, right? Like, oh, it's a very comfortable environment, like, with grizzly bears and shit. Why am I questioning this? That was obviously sarcasm, Savannah.
So I go there and I'm fishing with this Danny guy, you know? At this time, he's almost like a demigod, you know? Like, he's larger than life. And about the second day, I'm sitting there fishing, and I look over. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I look over, Danny is going to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, this man goes to the bathroom? And he was doing really, 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 really well financially.
Oh.
Really well financially. Lots of M's in the bank account, as the rap song goes. And I thought, he's going to the bathroom. He's got M's in the bank account. I also go to the bathroom. Perhaps I too should have M's in the bank account. And it was on that trip where I was like, it's not who I am that holds me back. It's who I think I'm not. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not.
Huh?
And this is why I say your job today is to give yourself permission.
Not the give yourself permission shit. Okay, so if you have been watching my coverage of the Most Powerful Women of Network Marketing conference with Eric Worre and his wife, they're saying that all the time. That was the thing that Lisa Nichols was saying, like over and over again. That give yourself permission shit is just, I hate it. I hate it when they say it. It's so Cringe, dude. What do you mean give yourself permission? You're trying to tell me that the reason you haven't been successful in your network marketing company is because you didn't give yourself permission to do so? Well, you know what? Let's backtrack there. To an extent, I guess I can see that because, and like I've said before, in MLMs, the only way to be successful is to let go of every good, compassionate, empathetic human quality that you have about yourself. You have to get rid of all of that. You have to not give a shit about what other people are going through. As long as you are making money, you're not allowed to give a shit. Most like empathetic, good Christian people, like this guy says that he found God or whatever when he was 18, they find out like, oh, so in order for me to have those M's in my bank account, in order to be like him, in order to have all the money and the success that he has, I need to be okay with manipulating people, with lying to them, and with making money off of their losses. Most people are going to go, I don't want to do this, I'm out. I think it's fair to say that a lot of them get manipulated into doing so. These uplines will be like, oh no, it's not manipulation. That's what the world wants you to think. It's not that at all. So they kind of like find ways to justify it until they can't justify it anymore. You basically have to be okay with not being a good person anymore. Most people don't want to do that. That's why most people are not successful in network marketing businesses, in my opinion. Well, not the only reason. I think we all know that, like, also the pyramid is set up for most people to fail. It won't work if most people aren't failing. But I hear stories like this, and to me, I'm like, you know, all I'm hearing when he's like, this guy's a human like me, he pees in the woods, we have something in common. We both take a piss. Why is he so much more successful than I am? The real answer is most likely because you're a good person. So you either let go of that or you don't succeed in network marketing, period. Point blank, period. That's it. What's next here? This looks like another one from the same conference.
All right, so the other thing about business, I want to cover this. Everyone who does business with you should always be protected and receive hidden benefits, whether they realize it or not when they do business with you. And this is so important. You know, when I was doing these numbers last night, you know who I was the most concerned about? That buyer. So I'm thinking about my profit, of course. But you know who I'm really the most concerned about is the buyer. And this is counterculture, right? Because your culture says, hey man, my family comes before your family. If things get tight and we get hungry, my family's gonna come before your family. That's why you need a gun. That's what we say in Texas. Everything's a reason to get a gun in Texas.
Wow.
I hate that mentality. That's a scarcity mentality. That's a loser mentality. You know, even in business, right? It's like if our team wins, it's because of them. If we lose, it's because of me. If something goes wrong, I take the hit, not you, never your family, ever. Death before dishonor. You know what I mean? This is the way you do it, because the thing is, it's so important that you have this mentality, because who knows all the clients and customers that you want to connect to? God. And if you're faithful with little, he knows that you can be faithful with much. That's why I feel like he trusts me with people, because I trust myself.
The fuck does any of that word salad ass shit mean? What I heard there is the reason I'm successful in MLMs is because God wants me to be. We say this all the time. Oh God, this is not going well. God would not approve of you making millions of dollars off of scamming people. And that's exactly what it is you're doing. Don't sit here and be like, oh yeah, God trusts me because I trust him. Sir, is this a mastermind course or is this church? Oh wow, I've never tried to do this before, and this is way harder than it looks. Oh my God. I'm gonna need to get like a Q-tip. We can fix this. I think it's just this eyeliner. It just sucks. Listen, sir, you are not God's chosen one. You are no more special than any of these people in God's eyes. And what always just fucks me up about these people who are constantly running off and talking about God gave all this to me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't think you've ever read the Bible. Have you ever opened a Bible once in your life? Because if you have, you'd have known that Jesus flipped tables over this shit. Jesus was not a fan of people using God to sell things. Hello, Griffin. It all goes back to like, no, the reason why you are successful in your MLM is kind of because you're doing the opposite of everything that Jesus taught you to do. Have you ever read the Sermon on the Mount? Probably not. I thought it was really weird that he was like talking about like all the people on your team need to be protected. Protected from who / what? I would argue that they need to be protected from you, sir. How are you doing any protecting at all? How are you the one that these people are supposed to look to for protection? You are like actively using them to propel you forward. Yeah. And quite frankly, that's not a very Jesus-y thing to do. And then he's all like, what did he say? Death before... I forget exactly the word he used, but like, that's kind of extreme. You're talking about MLMs, dude. You're talking about being in a network marketing business. As far as the whole faith thing goes, what are they supposed to have faith in exactly? God, this eyeliner sucks. Have faith in you as their leader, have faith in the company, have faith in the business structure, have faith that if they just listen to you and do what you say, then it'll work out. What are they supposed to have faith in? Faith is giving yourself a reason to believe in something when there's a lack of evidence. So if you're telling people they need to just have faith, like for example, have faith that the business model works, that means that there's not really that much evidence to suggest that they will be successful. You just have to have faith. You have to just shut up and trust the process. And what are the hidden benefits he's talking about too? Why do the benefits have to be hidden? Why are you hiding benefits from people? Wouldn't it help sell the opportunity if you just tell them what benefits they'll get if they join you? Seems a little counterproductive. Sounds to me like he's like, oh, I don't even know what the benefits are gonna be. You don't know what the benefits are gonna be, but just be someone that they can benefit from. And then if a good thing happens to them, you can go, oh, it's because that's a hidden benefit of my leadership. No.
I had at this point in my career where, you know, I when I first started out as an entrepreneur, I you know, started at zero, had like $41 in my bank account the day that I started my first business. And I always tell people, you never lack resources, you just lack resourcefulness, you know? So I had $41, but I had desire and I had determination, right? And I became pretty successful with that business, you know. By the time I was like 19, you know, I was 19, 20-ish, you know, during those years from like 19 to 21, I was doing good. I was making a good 6-figure income. I don't want to say like exact figures, but I was doing pretty good. And I did all the things that you do when you go from no money to some money. And I started buying all these crazy cars and living in these crazy houses and eating at P.F. Chang's twice a day. And I was living it up. I had a good time. I don't regret it. I'm glad I did it whenever I was, you know, 19 and 20 versus, you know, doing it when I'm like 50, right? And have a family and stuff. And so I was just like, you know, living life to the fullest, having fun, spending money, you know, having a good time. And then, and by the way, during this time, I started to get a lot of identity from the success I was having. You know, I climbed up this particular company's ranks, and, you know, people knew me as this young up and coming success story. And I had these cars and people knew me as having certain cars. And then, you know, my income started to go down, and I had to voluntarily repossess a Dodge Viper. And I never will forget, I had this big sticker on the back of it that said dream big on the back of this red Dodge Viper, fire red. It was a beautiful car. And the day before they came to voluntarily repossess it, I had to take a razor and peel that sticker off the back of this red Dodge Viper. And I never will forget when they came to get it, they loaded it up, they're driving away. I could still see dream big in the dust on the windshield from where the sticker was, dude. Talk about a gut wrencher. At that same time, I had a roommate, a really cool guy. His name was Craig Robinson. That's how he introduced himself to us. His name is actually Craig Lehman. He actually had a couple names because he was a con man. He was wanted by the U.S. Marshals. And I had the U.S. Marshals come visit me one day asking where he was. And so obviously, you know, Craig was wanted by the U.S. Marshals, so he couldn't pay rent. So then we got evicted from this really nice mansion in Nashville. And I ended up, you know, quasi-homeless and have to live with a friend of mine named Rainbow. And that's her real name. And dude, this is like a real freaking story. And I ended up having to go and get a car from a second chance lot at a 29% interest rate, guys.
Whoa.
Toyota Camry,
That's
1998, champagne color, Toyota Camry. I go from a Dodge Viper to a Toyota Camry. Nothing against Toyota Camrys, but it's no Dodge Viper. And anyways, I'm like, who am I, dude? You know, it's like, I'm not the rank I didn't hit. You know, I'm not hitting the rank I used to hit. I'm not earning the income I used to make. I don't feel successful like I used to feel.
Don't it always seem to go? Now, we don't have to sit here and watch this whole thing because it's a long video, but I'm gonna guess what this powerful message is that he's gonna tell us. He's gonna say, look, I was homeless. You had to stop living in a fucking mansion in which you had a roommate, and you had to probably downgrade to an apartment or something, dude. That's not homeless. Going from mansion to smaller house or apartment does not mean you're homeless. You're mansionless, but you didn't even own that mansion in the first place. Anyway, he's gonna be like, I was homeless. I had to repossess my car. I had to drive a Toyota Camry. Some people don't even have cars, motherfucker. But guess what? I got back up and I kept trying. That's probably where this is going. The expectations that you are setting for your team right now is like, even if it feels like I'm failing and I can't do anything right and nothing's going my way, I have to keep going. No, dude, you are the 1%. Congratulations on being successful that one time. You got really lucky by being able to somehow do it again. But also, you were kind of faking it until you made it. You faked it till you made it. See, it doesn't sound right if you say it that way. He didn't own a mansion. He was renting it out with a con man. That Dodge Viper he had, turns out he couldn't even afford it. Fake it till you make it. That's what all of these people do. And that's exactly what he was doing. Shocking. What an interesting story. Yeah, I don't want to sit here and listen to the rest of this because I think we get the point. This one looks weird. The thumbnail on here is strange.
Someone asked me, you know, what do I do whenever something unfair happens in my business? And specifically, it's like, if I'm talking to someone about the business and they join another team, how do I respond to that? How do I, you know, how does that make me feel? And, you know, I used to get real offended. And I just didn't, you know, I'd get offended and then I would be mad at that person and I didn't like how that felt, you know what I mean? And so instead of asking myself like, what's fair or what's the truth, I started asking myself what's useful. You know, and was it useful for me to feel this way? No.
Dude, you straight up, you were treating people like human beings, like a fucking piece of meat, like a commodity. Like they're your property or something. Like you're mad that someone stole someone from you. And it's like, that's a person.
If I talk to someone about a business and then they, you know, they join someone else's team, I love them, you know, because I am them, they are me. We're all connected somehow. We don't quite understand exactly how, but instinctively, you know that you are connected to every other human in the universe. And so to be mad at someone else is also to be mad at yourself.
What?
So what I told this person, I was like, look, if this person that asked me this question had something happen where something very unfair happened and they were treated really badly by two of their best friends.
Were those best friends also their uplines or their team members? These people run around all the time being like, look at all these friends I made in my network marketing business. These are the best friends I could ever have, of best friends I could ever wish for. And it's like, yeah, until they're not, until they steal your prospect. All of these relationships, like I always say, they're transactional. They're not real. They're not genuine. They are conditional. And obviously, I don't know this person's story. I don't know who he's talking about. But like, if she came to him asking for advice like this, he's probably her upline, and the problem stemmed from her involvement in whatever MLM that they were in. He's in Modere now, but I don't know.
If something happens that is not favorable for me, and I get mad at that person, what I'm really doing is not trusting God. Because anything that's supposed to be for me is going to be for me. Anything that's not supposed to be for me will not be for me. And I can appreciate that not everything's for me, you know? And the thing is, though, is if I hold on to offense, if I stay mad at this person, if I allow that anger to rob my creative energy and my creative flow, now they're beating me twice. They're kicking my butt twice. So it's like, if something happens to you that's unfair, things will happen. I have done things to other people that are unfair. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a human, dude. I'm going to make freaking mistakes. I've done things to people that are unfair.
But it's okay because you have Jesus on your side, right? The other thing is, too, is that he made a post I saw on his timeline. I'm pretty sure it was his timeline, not the Justin guy that we're going to look at next. That was basically like, God gives us free will. And sorry, I'm not trying to get religious or anything, or I'm like just trying to think this out logically. Please try not to be offended here. I'm just like thinking. He says, God gives us free will, but he already knows what decisions we're gonna make. I find a lot of issues with that statement. Logically, what is the point of free will if God already knows what we're gonna do? So like, that sounds to me like God makes somebody knowing fully well, like where they're gonna end up when they die. Like hypothetically, if we're gonna say that hell exists in heaven, that means that when God is like making a sweet tiny little baby, a little innocent fetus, he already knows if that baby is gonna end up going to hell. Isn't that kind of weird? And then if that's the case, like if God's mission, I guess, is to save everybody, to save his creation, to save humanity, then why doesn't he do anything to change it? Is he unable to, or he's unwilling to? If you're gonna tell me that God already knows everything that's about to happen, then it doesn't really sound like it's necessarily your choice. It kind of seems like there's a plan, or maybe not even a plan, but like you're just, there's a destiny. Like you can't change your destiny or whatever, and your destiny is to be an absolute heathen and go to hell. And all this stuff this guy is saying is not making sense, because it sounds to me like God made me knowing that I wasn't gonna believe in him from the moment I was conceived, growing in my mommy's belly. Sounds to me like he knew that I was gonna burn in hell for eternity. What an asshole. Why would he create me then? That's kind of mean. It's kind of fucked up. Anyway, let's let him finish this. There's just so much that, like, I'm sorry, but logically it just doesn't make sense.
I don't want to do that to people. People have done things to me that are unfair. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be mad at them, but then not be mad at myself. So then if I'm mad at them, I got to be mad at myself. And I don't want to be mad at myself. So then I don't want to be mad at them. The second thing is I want to trust God that nothing happens to me. Everything happens for me. So if I'm thinking that this is what's happening and all of a sudden that doesn't happen, then I just go figure out where the silver lining is and keep living my best life, you know? And so it's always, sometimes it's easier said than done, but if you've been holding on to offense, if someone's offended you, if someone did something to you that, you know, you just can't let it go, man, then I want to encourage you, number one, like, trust, you have to trust God that the creator of the universe knows what he's doing. And number two, you have to let that go. You have to truly love them. And maybe you don't trust them. Maybe you don't do business with them. Maybe you don't, you know, but you could still love them and understand that they are imperfect just like you are, and that, you know, they're just trying to do their best just like you are. But then you've got to let it go, because now if you hold on to it, it affected you once, now it's affecting you twice. Do you want to let it affect you twice? Probably not. So ask yourself, instead of what's the truth, instead of what's fair, instead of what's just, what's useful? And if it's not useful to hold on to that negative energy of what happened, then let it go, dude. Breathe it out. And, you know, look for the silver lining. Look for what came next. Look for what's going to come next. And I promise you'll find it.
Sounds like toxic positivity to me. Let's move on. So moving on to Justin Prince. I found this guy because he tagged Wes in a post. Wes, biggest congrats on earning your escape. You're a bright light for so many people. Appreciate your friendship and grateful to do life and business with you. Proud of you. Can't wait to cruise with you. That's a Modere thing, right? Like, is that their escape is their incentive trip or whatever? This guy is even worse than Wes. Here's his most recent post. Posted 2 days ago, and I find it kind of strange that he uses the hashtag I am Justin Prince. Drive or destroy. It's your choice. Disappointments do one or two things. What would that be? One of two things? They either drive you or they destroy you. Life is hard. Business is hard. You will face disappointment. It's not a matter of if, but how much and how often. Will you use them to drive you or to destroy you? Convert the hurt. Oh no. That's a bad one. Convert the hurt from pain to fuel and use it to drive your success. I'm a petty bitch, okay? If someone hurts me, my favorite thing to do is to move forward and continue being successful without them, you know? That is the best form of revenge. So, alright. But like when it comes to MLMs, it's kind of weird that these people are like talking about being business owners and whatever, but they're also constantly talking about that last video. He's like, oh, this girl came to me and she was like, oh, my best best friends did this, and like asking for advice or whatever, presumably in business because he is a network marketing guru. It's just weird to me that in a business sense, you're like constantly dealing with people hurting you. Those two things just don't seem like they go together for me. Feeling hurt and having all these emotions and stuff over a business. Like, cause then it seems like it's more of a social thing for you and not an actual like income. Because I don't know, if you're gonna be a business owner, damn it, I forgot my eyebrow shit again. Gotta improvise again. Like, it seems to me like if you're gonna be like an actual business owner with like success and stuff, like it makes sense to have like a little bit of emotion in it, just because like some people will see their businesses like, that's my baby, that's my life's work. And that, I understand that. I get that. But to the point where a network marketing guru has to come out and be like, hey, all these people keep quitting your team, all these people keep hurting you, convert the hurt into fuel. Like, that's so weird. What a strange concept. I was texting Erin about this guy, because if you don't know, Erin used to be in Modere, and I asked her permission if I could use what she said, and she said yes. So she said, Justin Prince is a tool too. I've met him and he hugs everyone like their family. It's uncomfortable. That was my personal experience with him, by the way. He was also integral in getting Jesse Lee and a bunch of us fired from Modere. All right, sounds like a really great guy. Is that the hurt you're talking about, buddy? You're actively getting people fired from your cult. Anyway, this guy has a lot of videos, so let's jump into some of those.
Write this in your notes. Relaunch, reset. Guess what you do? You reset yourself and you go again. You reset yourself and you go again. That's how you build empires. Guess what happens after the darkest nights? It becomes dawn. The earth resets. After the harshest winter, what happens? Spring. Why? The earth resets. Reset yourself, reset yourself, reset yourself, relaunch. We talk a lot about building your business, launching a business. My friends, empires are rebuilt and relaunched. Reset, 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 reset. Leave this event and reset. Not just your business, my friends. Fall in love with your marriages. Fall in love with your faith, whatever that journey looks like for you. Fall in love with the process, not just the idea of success, but the journey of success. Reset yourself. Fall back in love. Reset yourself.
Is someone gonna tell Justin that that's not how the earth works? The earth doesn't have a reset button. You realize that while it's spring here, it's autumn in the southern hemisphere. You realize that there's not really a beginning and an end. It's just a cycle. The earth is just always constantly going in its own cycle. It's not resetting. It's just going through the cycle over and over again. There's no start. There's no end. It just continues. Justin, this is not how the earth works. And then I had like all that motivational music playing in the background. You know what's motivating? Going to school, getting an education and learning how the earth works. Sir, I'm pretty sure we learned about that in like 4th grade. Oh my god, this eyebrow is giving me serious issues. My makeup today is just giving me all the issues. Every issue ever. This advice is kind of strange to me because if it's so easy, if it's so doable to be successful in network marketing, then why do you ever need to like reset? Let alone constantly keep resetting and resetting and resetting.
Reset yourself, reset yourself, reset yourself, relaunch.
Why do you have to keep starting over? These people and their metaphors, man. Anyway, here's another one.
We're getting our audio dialed in as we're going through rehearsals for my Live Be The One event, August 19th in Provo, Utah. So here's what I want to share with you. Made 2 promises. I made 2 promises when I was struggling. Below zero financially, first business failed, back on credit cards, back on taxes. I'm driving down the freeway. I'm just like
back on taxes?
Tears rolling down my face. I'm like, gosh dang, is this ever gonna happen to me? I made 2 promises really to myself, but really to God. First promise was if I ever became successful, I promised I'd never forget what it felt like to struggle, like the lump you have in your throat, the pressure that you feel. The second promise is if I ever became successful, I'd help as many other people to achieve their dreams, to achieve their goals as I possibly could. Friends, this August 19th event is the fulfillment of the second promise. To be able to share with you the tools and the strategies and the insights and the tactics that you need, the inspiration that you need to become the person that you were born to be the one. So I want to encourage you to come with me, come be at this event. This will be a life-changing event for you to be able to learn all of the things that you need, the actual formulas and the frameworks and the strategies and the skills and all of the things that you need to go to the next level of your life. and to go grow into the person. In addition to that, we're launching our new book. We're launching the Be the One book. So I'm fired up to have you. Make sure you get your ticket. This event will sell out for sure, and excited to see you guys here on August 19th.
How much does it cost to go to this event, buddy? I'm curious. Is there a link? How much are you charging people for this? Well, $400 for general admission. It's just one day, friends. But hey, if you want to be VIP, it's only $1,000. Oh my God. Honestly, that is so much more expensive than I was expecting. Wow. $400. And how many seats are there? Ooh, what is this social retail versus MLM? Ooh, there's a video.
Now, in this video, a lot of you are gonna have big ahas. You're gonna be like, you're gonna see the real numbers laid out before you. Now, some of you will argue, some of you will disagree. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments, but in this video, we'll discuss what the numbers are. Remember this about numbers. People may lie. Numbers always tell the story. Numbers are consistent. Numbers always tell the truth. Starbucks and Maxwell House can argue who got the best coffee. They can argue who uses the best coffee beans. But at the end of the day, you look at the numbers, and if you're going to invest your money in that example, you would go with Starbucks. Why? Because the numbers are compelling. So same thing's true when you're looking at a business, is the numbers always tell the story. They never lie. They're always consistent. Let's jump into MLM versus social retail. First thing we're going to talk about is your order, your personal order. Let's say that you're ordering, for the sake of an example, $100 of the company's products. Cool, good for you. I think you should use the products. It's hard to recommend products you've never used, or a movie you've never seen, or a book you've never read, or a restaurant you've never eaten at, so I'm cool with you using the products.
Yes, exactly.
Now let's say that for our example, you have no one on your team, meaning you haven't personally enrolled anyone to be on your team to sell the products with you. You're at zero right now. By the way, this is what happens in most network marketing businesses. 70+% of people that join recruit 0 people. When it comes to customers, you're also at 0. Why? Because in a traditional network marketing business model, it's what's called a self-consumption model. What does that mean? It means that you sign up in the company as a brand partner or distributor or an associate or representative, whatever the company may call you, a promoter, and then you go sign up other people. You start using the products, consuming them yourself. You sign up other people to use the products, consume them themselves. They sign up other people to...
Exactly. Okay, so he's speaking truth right now. This is what we always say. You gotta be a product of the product, and the distributors are the customers. The thing that's getting me here is he's in Modere. Modere is an MLM. Now, that's why I want to watch this video, because I'm interested to see what he says the differences are between MLM and social retail, which I'm assuming that he's gonna say that Modere is social retail, not MLM. Sir, MLM stands for multi-level marketing, meaning you have levels beneath you based on recruiting. Modere also has that. Modere is an MLM by nature, by definition, in all ways conceivable. Modere is also an MLM. So please explain to me what social retail is.
And you receive an override on all of the consumption of a network of people. That is the traditional network marketing business model. So if you don't have anyone on your team, it means you don't have anyone consuming the products. You don't have any customers, any end of the line customers. Because most of the customers actually are the distributors. So for example, they'll pay the fee so they can get a discount, like the small fee so they can buy it wholesale versus retail. They'll shop at the company website. So imagine on the website it says, the tabs will send something like, company products, opportunity, charity, events, log in, something like that. Why do they have the opportunity tab on the company website? It's because they're driving a self-consumption model. They're getting more people in a team to consume the products themselves. This is the traditional model. So the problem with this model, the inherent problem is if you're not good at recruiting, if you're not good at team building, if you can't go enroll people to start self-consuming the products, to maybe start using the products themselves, you don't build a customer base. And when you don't build a customer base, you don't succeed in that business. Why? All right, let's text to the next part. Volume. We're all paid on the same thing, my friends. Whether you're in restaurants, real estate, network marketing, it doesn't matter. We're all paid on volume. The only exception to this would be like a pre-revenue tech company. But for the rest of us in the world, we're all paid on revenue. We're all paid on volume. People say it's a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme would be a company that there's no volume exchanging hands. So in a traditional network marketing business model, they're selling a product.
No. Sir, this is where you lose me, because according to the FTC, a company becomes a pyramid scheme when you make more money off of recruiting people than you do from selling the product. AKA, there can be a product in a pyramid scheme, Just ask Advocare. Just ask Herbalife. Those are 2 companies out of many. They all had products and they all exchanged those products. They were companies that were widely presumed to just, you know, be an MLM. Not a pyramid scheme, it's an MLM. And then the FTC came around and they were like, no, actually you're operating as a fucking pyramid scheme. And in the case of Advocare, they fined them for millions of dollars and fined some of their top distributors also. It's not even a misconception because, like, I feel like these people have to know. Like, hey, Justin, you very clearly know what the definition of a pyramid scheme is, but you're just like sitting here lying about it so that people who are listening are just like, oh yeah, this Justin guy said that it's not a pyramid scheme, so therefore it's not. No, just all you have to do is read the FTC's website. They very clearly like lay it out for you. They define it for you, and that's exactly what it is. They say it is a pyramid scheme if you make more money when you recruit people than from selling the products, and that is absolutely true. The same is true for Modere also. So not only is Modere an MLM, in my opinion, it's also a pyramid scheme. Let's continue here.
They're exchanging a service for those dollars. But if no one's on your team, no customers have purchased, you'll have 0 volume and you're not going to make any money on 0 volume, 0 revenue, right? Now, free would be like a free product program. Some companies have these, some companies don't. In this example, you're ordering $100, you've enrolled no one, you have no customers, you have no volume, you would earn 0 free product from that company if the company does have a free product program. Now let's talk about your check or your income.
I'm sorry, is he about to suggest that social selling is different because like you can get free shit? He's about to tell us that social retail is so much better than MLM. Are you gonna suggest that you can get these things, you can get free stuff and you get volume and stuff even if you don't sell the product? Because that sounds like a pyramid scheme, my guy. But anyway, let's continue. Let's just hear what he has to say. Let's just hear him out.
Ordering $100 of company's products, you've enrolled no one, 0 customers, no volume, no free product. You're obviously making no money. You know, you're at 0 at this point. Here's the challenge with traditional network marketing. Most people spend more than they make.
I also think it's interesting that he wrote MLM, but he's saying network marketing. And we always say all the time, like, yeah, they're the same thing. But so many of these people are like, no, they're not the same thing. But this guy, big dude, who's like got his own training courses and shit, fucking guru of everything, MLM and network marketing, interchangeable. It's like, okay, yeah, that's what we all say. But like so many of these people are like, I'm not in an MLM, this is network marketing. No, it's the same thing.
So what happens is 2 or 3 or 4 months from now, you're kind of like, is this really working for me? Your spouse is like, what are we doing? And you're trying to like chase the dream, you know, and that's kind of what they sold you on, is this idea, this dream that one day it's going to work out, but you have nothing to show for it. And so typically what happens is, you know, you either physically quit, meaning you stop the order, or you emotionally quit. And if it's not you, I want you to think about the person that enrolled last night on the bottom of your network. They're on, you know, level 19 right now. If 3 or 4 or 5 months from now, they're not making any money, they'll either physically quit, stop the order, or emotionally quit, which means they just stop putting any time into this. And so what happens is the networks erode from the bottom up. Any of you that have ever seen this happen, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can't do enough conference calls, you can't do enough Zooms. The networks start to erode because that person's not making enough money at the bottom of the network. The person above them, the smaller rank above them, is now from that self-consumption, because that team of self-consuming people that are consuming the products themselves, when they're not making any money, then the person above them is not making any money, then their rank falls apart, then eventually they quit, and then the person above them, now they're making less money because their rank just fell apart, so eventually they quit. And this is the problem.
Because it's a pyramid scheme. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about social retail.
You know why their businesses all fall apart after people start quitting? It's because that is their income. The income is from the people they recruit. I mean, sure, they make an income if they sell a product, but it doesn't make up a majority of their paycheck. It just doesn't. And he's like, yeah, one person from 19 levels down quits, and then their upline quits, and then their upline quits, because now suddenly none of them have a business anymore. It's like, yeah, because you're making your money off of the people you recruited, not by how many products you're selling personally. Come on. He's saying the quiet parts out loud.
With Modere's social retail business model, let's use the same example that you're ordering in this example, $100 of the company's products. Let's say that on the team part, you haven't enrolled anyone. You have no one on your team. So just like over here, man, you just haven't enrolled anybody yet. No one's joined your team. No one sees what you see. Cool. Here's the big difference on customers. On customers, instead of having 0, the active average person that was simply eligible for commissions. It didn't mean they earned commissions. They were just eligible to earn commissions. had an average of 1,000 customer points or 1,000 customer orders.
What? What is the difference then, pray tell, between this and an MLM? Because like in most MLMs, everyone is eligible to earn commissions in most MLMs. I know there are some MLMs, I can't think of them off the top of my head. I'm not sure exactly which ones, but like if you don't sell a certain number, then like you don't get your commissions at all. I want to say like Paparazzi is one of them where if you're selling jewelry from their website, like without actually like doing the live show and then like shipping it out, like if they buy it directly from your website, if you don't make like I want to say it's like $25, maybe it's even more than that, a month. Paparazzi just keeps it and they don't pay that out. Like it doesn't roll over, it doesn't accumulate. Obviously, if you buy the jewelry and then like sell it yourself, then you get to keep the extra, what is it, $2.25 or whatever it is. But if they're buying directly from your website. So like, yeah, there are MLMs that do that. He's not explaining this. He's just writing numbers on a board and it's not making any sense. He's like, when you're in an MLM, most people don't have customers. When you're in social retail, most people have 1,000 customers. What? Huh? How? Please, are you gonna explain this? This is such bullshit. Okay, anyway.
It's a huge difference because you go from 0 people on your team, 0 customers, to an average of 1,000 points worth of orders. Not 1,000 customers, but total customer orders. That's a really, really big difference.
Still.
What does that do? That gives you 1,000 points of volume versus 0. Now here's what's interesting. If these points of volume are what's called CV, which just stands for commissionable volume, Modere has a free product credit that you can earn between $50 to $200 a month. At this level, you would be getting a $75 free product credit. It spends as cash on the site. $75 free product. Lastly is your check. Now, again, if it's 1,000 CV, you'd be earning a $200 check with 1,000 CV with those 1,000 customer points.
You know what? I'm thinking now. I've never seen Modere's income disclosure statement. I don't even know if they have one. However, I'm wondering if how he said the average is 1,000 CV or whatever, equaling $200. If that's the average, I'm wondering if like that's what the average is company-wide, like $200. I just wanted to point this out here since I mentioned looking up Modere's compensation plan. The numbers are so much worse than what he says they are. If you look here, first of all, it says the percent of active social marketers, which like active is the word I'm looking at here because I don't know what it takes to be active in Modere, but this tells me that this isn't even 100% of the people in Modere. But if you see here, 31.67%, nearly 1/3 of active social marketers in Modere make $0, upwards of 17% for these next 2 tiers here, making an average of $106 and then $312 respectively. I did the math here. Here's my calculator. 2/3, pretty much on the dot, 2/3 of people who are active in Modere make an average of $26.07 or less every single month. That is so much worse than what this guy is talking about. He says CV, commissionable volume, which goes in a monthly cycle. What he's suggesting is that, oh yeah, your check on average will be about $200 a month is what I'm hearing. So I don't know, about close to 10% of people in Modere are making somewhere around $200 a month. I guess a little bit more than that. Again, that's just the average. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out and leave that in here. Everything else I'm about to say, yeah, pretty much lines up. Modere is an MLM. The numbers line up pretty much exactly the same as every other MLM's income disclosure statement I've ever seen. This guy sucks. He's a loser. Okay, bye. And he's just like, yeah, it's average. That means at least everyone at least gets $200. No, you're forgetting that averages get skewed. So you got people like this guy at the tippity top of Modere. His profile on Facebook said that his team has made $2.4 billion in sales. This dude is rich. If he's getting paid off of $2.4 billion in sales, he's doing all right for himself. He's included in that average. And that wouldn't be an average of sales that you make. Like, that's an average of income, meaning it's including your like team building bonuses and like that's not an average commissionable volume. That's your average check, inclusive of everything. And these people who are at the top, a lot of them make 6 figures a month. And guess what that does to the average? it skews it up. So let's say you have one guy making $100 a month in Modere, and then you have this guy making $500,000 a month in Modere. I don't know how much he's making. I'm just spitballing. If you average those two out, it's gonna be like around $250,000. But you wouldn't say, oh yeah, everyone in Modere makes $250,000 a month. No, one guy made 100 and one guy made 500,000. Like, that is a big gap difference. And so basically what I'm trying to say here is that one guy, maybe, you know, in most of these MLMs, it's a very small amount of people who are making 99% of the money. They're skewing the average way up. So like, if you were to look at the Modere income disclosure statement, I wonder if you would see something like, the average commission check per month in Modere is $200. But it's like, okay, but there's like probably most people, and we're talking like 90% of people in Modere are probably making $200 or less, and the top 10% are making way more than that. So it's skewing the average. I would guarantee that most people in Modere are making a big fat zero. If not, like, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks a month. Maybe they're lucky to get one sale. This is all bullshit. What he is doing here is he is trying to differentiate Modere from the MLM brand. So many companies get branded as an MLM and people don't want to support it anymore. And he's just like, no, guys, we're not an MLM. We're social retail. No, dude, your compensation plan works the exact same way as these other MLMs. You're just like manipulating the numbers to make them look different. It's not. It is not different at all. If you look at any income disclosure statement for any MLM, you're gonna find similar numbers here. Now, not every MLM has a free product thing, but plenty of them do. And adding in free product as an incentive is not the qualifier for what's an MLM and what's social retail business. They're the same. They are the same.
You still have an order, but the difference is, instead of having 0 people on your team because you're not good at recruiting, 0 customers consuming it because the team is self-consuming the products, 0 volume, 0 free product, 0 check, you have same order, no one on your team, and you can make money without recruiting. This is the secret. People are like, why are you guys growing so fast? Why is this happening? It's because people can succeed without recruiting.
First of all, no, you can't succeed in Modere without recruiting. I'm sorry. Any MLM, almost any MLM, like I was saying earlier, almost any MLM, again, there are a few who, yeah, they won't pay you out unless you get a certain number of sales. But for the most part, this is how they all operate. But we all know that, like, in most cases, if you sell a product, you're going to get the commission on that product. Like, let's take pharmacy, for example. Pharmacy has a 50% payout for everybody. So if you sell a $10 lipstick, you're going to get the $5 you're owed. Now, can you make a successful living off of $5 for selling one tube of lipstick for $5? No, you can't. That's not a living. But you're still making money. You made $5. This is such a misleading video, and it's pissing me off because, like, let's go look at the comments. Oh my God. Amazing. I hadn't seen this type of model before. Yes, you have. They're called MLMs. I am learning how money is good, and I can help a lot of people win. In today's world, this model is hands down the winner. So glad I am here. Lori, you're not helping anybody. That's it. You're just not helping anyone. I love social retail so much. The pressure's off, and I can do what I like to do best. What is that? What does Modere even sell? Like health shit? Like protein shakes and stuff? I don't even know. I don't care. I'm confused in MLM why a person with no team wouldn't have customers. Many people in MLM have their own customers. So this is a decent comment here too, because it's a valid question. Sure, there are plenty of MLMs who like actually sell their product. Like when I was in Gold Canyon Candles, which is an MLM that does not exist anymore. But I grew up with those candles. My parents bought them all the time. We would go to the state fair and they always would have all those booths set up. And every single year they would buy like 2 Gold Canyon candles from the booth there. And that's why I ended up joining, because like I had that brand familiarity or whatever the word is. Like I was familiar with those candles. So when I was approached with an opportunity to sell them, I was like, oh yeah, I love Gold Canyon. But for years, we had been customers without being distributors ever growing up before I knew what an MLM was. This is a valid point. She's like, how come people in MLMs don't have customers when they do sometimes? That still goes without saying that a majority of the customers in MLMs are distributors. Statistically, they're the ones who are shilling in the most money into the system. Outside customers, not so much. But they're still there and they still exist. Debbie McKinney says it's night and day. No, it's not. They're the team. He's just presenting the information differently in order to manipulate you into thinking that you're in something that's not an MLM. Like, this is the kind of shit that, like, people in Melaleuca, for example, run around. They're like, we're not an MLM. Yes, you are. This person calls him out. They basically say you're comparing different numbers to each other. That's true. You know what? Yeah, call this guy out. God, he's so fucking annoying. This person even says, I like Modere's business model, but this example is not equal. I know people in MLM that additionally that a team, they also have customers. That didn't make sense. Can you do another example detailing the difference between someone doing MLM but just having customer points and no team so the example could be more accurate, please? You know what would happen if he did that? The numbers would be the same because they are the same. I want to continue going through some of his Facebook posts here because some of these videos are absolutely wild, but we are running out of time here, so let's just get a few quickies in. That one kind of set me off course a little bit, but who did he just upload this one?
Here up above Park City, Utah, at an event with some of our very, very top sales professionals in our company and then also our advisory council. And man, what I love about events like this is you get time to like get your very best together. People had to qualify to be here. You always want to be where the leaders are, and you can never over recognize your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't like give them enough recognition. You can't pour into them enough, and you can't spoil them enough and have, you know, time with your key people enough. So as you're building your business and as you're building your life and your career, key people are worth their weight in gold. And you can't over celebrate, over communicate, over work with your key people.
I see what he's saying here. I do remember, like, because I worked for a large retail chain for 10 years, and there were multiple times where they'd have like an employee survey and be like, what more do you want to see from us as an employee? And every single time I ended up putting like recognition, like we just want to be recognized for when we do good shit and not be punished like for every little tiny like slip up we might make or something. Like, it's just like little things that are absolutely out of our control that we would get like punished for. Like, oh, you didn't sell this add-on, you didn't convince this pet parent to upgrade to a nail grind and stuff, so therefore you're a bad employee. It's like, no, you just can't make people spend money. Like, maybe I'm just not a good salesperson. It was stuff like that, like if we weren't like upselling enough and things. But then meanwhile, if we do something really good, like we almost never got recognized for it. So I can see what he's saying when it comes to like people just want to be recognized for the good shit they do. I get that. But in MLMs, here's where the but comes in. People use this kind of like, you're spoiling them, right? Like you said, people use these opportunities as a recruiting tactic. They go, look at how successful I am. I joined Modere. I'm so successful that I got this. I'm assuming they got it paid for if they're being spoiled. Otherwise, if they're being spoiled and they still have to pay for like their travel and their accommodation and stuff, then are you really spoiling them? You just told them to show up at a place. Anyway, let's just say they had everything accommodated. They'll go, look, I earned this free trip to, what did he say, Utah? Ooh, Utah. I got this free trip all because I said yes to this opportunity. Do you want to go on free trips? Look at this beautiful barn we're in, which it is a beautiful barn. That's a nice barn. Look at how pretty the scenery is. Look at how much I'm having the time of my life because I'm such a good employee. And you're not an employee, whatever. You know what I mean. Such a good distributor. I'm so successful. Don't you want to be like me? When meanwhile, it's like look at how many people are in that barn. 15, maybe? 15 out of how many fucking people are in his downline? Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And meanwhile, you have like 15 people there. The chances of you getting there are slim to none. But they're going to use this as an incentive to be like, you want this life? Join me. So it's still scummy either way. In this situation, it's scummy. I think in a lot of like corporate positions, yeah, you should be shouting people out when they're doing a good job. But like here, when you do that, while I'm sure it is nice to be recognized, they're also using that to make more money for themselves. You can't really do that in any other industry. Let's see. Let's maybe do one more. Dude, this one has almost 1 million views. So let's watch this one.
Young man out of Wichita, Kansas, flunking out of high school, hanging out with the wrong kids, just his whole life's going the wrong trajectory. May of his junior year, he promises his single mom he'll take the SAT. Takes the SAT, as you know, 1600 max, math portion, reading comprehension. He goes and takes it, gets the results back, and he's completely stunned. The kid scores a 1480 out of 1600. So he takes the results back to his mom, and his mom said to him what a lot of our moms would have said to us. She looks at it and she goes, "Did you cheat?" He goes, "Mama, I did not cheat. I promise, this is real." So she goes, "Man, my son's freaking a genius." By the way, 1400 on ACT means the kid's a genius, you know? He says, "Well, man, if I'm so smart, I might as well go to class." When he goes to class, he changes his behavior and stops hanging out with the bad kids. He goes to class and his teacher says, "Franklin, we had it wrong on you. You're a pretty smart kid." Graduates high school, graduates from junior college, goes to Wichita State, graduates, goes to the Ivy Leagues, graduates with honors, becomes an entrepreneur in the magazine industry and becomes a multi-millionaire, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the magazine industry in the country. You say, whoa, what a cool story. Here's a guy flunking out of his life. His whole life's going the wrong direction. And then he like realizes he's a 1480, this new identity, and his life changes. My friends, that's not the end of the story. 13 years later, Princeton, New Jersey sends him a letter in the mail. He opens it up and it says, We periodically review our test taking policies and test taking procedures. The year that you took the test, you're one of 13 students that was accidentally sent the wrong test score. They said, you didn't score a 1480, you scored a 740. He said, my whole life people have been telling me your life changed when you got this 1480 test score. He said, no, my whole life changed when I started acting like a 1480.
Wow, that's a very interesting story. I want to know, who is he talking about? Because that's fascinating. Is this story made up? Do you know what we call that? We call it luck, motherfucker. You were sent the wrong test score, and the test score you were sent was way higher than what you actually scored, and only 13 out of like millions of people have that happen to them. That is luck. You did nothing to have that happen. It just happened, and you were the person who benefited from it. Kind of like in MLMs. Luck is a big part of all of this. Now, good for him. I'm glad that he's like, wow, I have way more potential than I thought. So he started acting like the smart kid that he thought he was, and then turned into a smart kid. Like, that's great. That is a motivational story. But he said he turned into an entrepreneur. When you say entrepreneur, these people put such a bad rap on entrepreneurs that it's like every time we hear the phrase, it's like, you know, when you say entrepreneur, do you mean that they were actually like starting up their own business, or were they just in an MLM? He said something about a magazine. I don't know. Aren't there like magazine door-to-door salesmen and shit like that probably run on similar MLM type models? I don't know. I hope this kid did something actually good with his life and didn't just join an MLM. That is an interesting story though. I just know that like, cause this has almost 1 million views, like I said, so like, you know that all the Huns are just passing this around, just being like, fake it till you make it, then eventually you'll make it. And it's like, no, the only people that works for are people who get lucky. That guy got lucky. Period. Anyway, all right, that was obnoxious. There's so much more where this came from with both of these guys. They have a lot of just like cringe-tacular content. I'll try to remember to like check in on them periodically and maybe add some of their videos to any future top fails videos. But hey, you guys, real quick before we end here, don't forget to check out Helensburgh Soapy Suds. If you want to support a small business out of the UK, again, not sponsored, it's just a small business shout out. And if you want to support them, you want some cool soaps and bath bombs and stuff, check them out. All their socials and links and stuff are going to be down in the description below. And now also I need to thank my patrons and my members. The list of people I'm about to name off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server. We have a postcard club. Sometimes you get early access to videos, and sometimes even more than that. So if any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/SavannahMarie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships, just whatever platform you want to join on. And with that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Nutton, Janelle Pratt, Amanda Shannon, Elizabeth Wyatt, Kissessi Drew, Nitty Dragon, Leanne, Sheila Tapia, Amy Dolinak, Caroline Reed, Charlotte Treese, Daniel Urena, Maddie Darley, Ray, Shayna, Tuesday the 13th, Turd Ferguson, Mitchie84, My Camouflaged Life, Ari, Martine Hubert, Amy Louise, Mira SIK, LaSalle Story, Laura Jensen, Mother Dragon 82, Han Bjornson, Baby Pink Pearl, Fallon Lowry, Hannah, Miss Blue, Carrie K, Love to Be Evil, The Best Elephant, Jessica Billhart, Jess Kronfeld, Emion, and Auntie Lou. And to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and for being you. And even if you're not a financial supporter, thank you for making it to the end of this video, because like I said at the beginning of this video, YouTube loves watch time. So you just being here is helpful to me. So thank you. Keep making waves, babes, and I'll smell you all later. Mommy Tsunami, out.